Nancy, when I first met you, you were either on InterVarsity staff and on the staff of Crossroads Bookstore, or just coming on staff right at the beginning. So you were involved in Christian ministry from very early on. Could you just give us an overview of what sort of ministry you've been involved in since we got married, what it was initially, what it became, the books, some of the books you've written, studies you've done. Why have you wound up counseling women? How have you wound up counseling women the way you have?
Well, I went on. I was an associate staff member with InterVarsity, leading Bible studies, helping out, and working at your father's bookstore, which was an evangelistic bookstore.
Right.
And so I was speaking to small group Bible studies and at conferences during that time before we were married. Then after we were married, as you recall,
I remember, yes.
We started having children. And so my ministry was really at home and in the church. The church started early on in those years.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it was some neighborhood evangelism back then.
Right.
And encouraging college girls from time to time, but I wasn't leading formal Bible studies at all really till the kids were older.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened more and more, and we'd go through books. I think I took ladies in our church through, not every single book Watson has written, Thomas Watson, but many of them, as well as other books over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And doing studies on marriage and child rearing and
What
that sort of thing.
What about your writing?
Well, then you started Credenda Agenda,
right.
And if you recall, one day you came home with a sheet of paper that said Femina on the top, and you'd had your secretary transcribe one of my Bible studies that was on tape. And it was just awful. It needed a lot of sandpapering and editing. So I started writing for Credenda myself, not from the tapes, but writing an article for that. And then those were collected into The Fruit of Her Hands. Okay. And then later I wrote some pieces on mothering that was then Praise Her in the Gates.
Right, okay.
And then another one later, the most recent one, which is, of course, I'm forgetting the title.
Building Her House.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also wrote an English textbook, English grammar textbook.
I did.
On Mother Tongue.
I did.
Yes. Okay. And as our kids have grown and as they've grown and married and moved out, have you found your time picking up counseling women or
Yes, I would say
girls?
so. I just want to be available. I want the college students to know I'm here, that if they need help, I would be glad to help. I want the women in our congregation to be, feel free to call me. And I think some of them probably are a little reluctant, but I just want them to feel very free to do that. And then some women around the country will email or call me occasionally.
Right.
So oftentimes with those, I'm encouraging them to get pastoral help if it's something serious, if it's something that I can answer via email. But I try to stay out of long-distance email counseling situations because I don't think they're necessarily helpful long-term.
Okay, thank you.